I'm going to use this video of my camp teardown to just go through the gear for you guys. So, yeah, this is camp. This is right, just below 12,000 feet. And here's how I put all the stuff in the bag and what stuff I'm carrying. So first in there is the inner bag of my sleep system. By itself, this is a 20-degree bag. I'll say more on the bag stuff as I go, but I don't use any stuff sacks on really anything. I just like to shove stuff directly in the bag and layer it from the most likely to be used immediately, or the thing that I will want first, to the thing that I will want last. So that 20-degree bag is a last thing. And I use that as padding to surround this. This is it's a Snow Peak titanium pot. It's one I've had forever. I think it's like a 20-ounce pot. It's the small one, and it fits a small fuel canister and my small stove and a lighter all fit inside of that pot, as well as the Kinepex pliers that I use as a pot holder. That all goes in there. I also have one of those old school titanium sporks. I don't think you need that, guys. If I lost that spork, I'd just replace it with a spoon. Just a regular steel spoon. It wouldn't matter. Anyway, that gets its own stuff sack because that stuff can get kind of sooty if I use a campfire. That gets pressed into the bag, and then I'm moving on, taking more stuff up. So the rest of the bag here. Here's the rest of this sleeping bag. This is the Big Agnes Ranger. It's a 3-in-1 system. So you saw me take the inner bag out. That inner bag also connects to the sleeping pad, like this one does. So if I used it by itself, it still does that. That's a really nice feature, guys. It lets you side sleep and roll around without the bag moving off of the pad. The outer bag here is a 45-degree bag by itself, and that's all I needed on this night, even at 12,000 feet. You saw me take my camp pillow out. This bag also has a little sleeve, a retainer for the pillow. That's a big deal to me. That feature is awesome. So I use a cheap Amazon inflatable pillow, but it's not enough pillow for me. So I also take my jacket and I stuff it in the pillow keeper there. And the two of those together are like the perfect fluffiness for me to get good rest. It's a big deal for me. You can see I'm rolling up my camp pad with the bag here. Having the camp pad on the outside, it gives just a little bit of water protection if I get rain. That bag is a little more protected. I also carry a trash bag in the backpack if it really is going to downpour all day. I can put all of my stuff in a trash bag and put that in the actual backpack. But yeah, the camp pad's rolled up there, and that camp pad is a Thermarest Neo Air. It's like a 2.5-inch thick pad, really comfortable, really high R value on that one. It is like the highest R value Thermarest pad, I believe. So that's layered in next. Again, I'm not really compressing this stuff down. I want it fluffy. I want it to fill out the pack. There's a reason for it. This is a 70-liter Mystery Ranch Metcalf, I believe it is. And this is more room than I need for most of the time. I will fill it out entirely when I have like winter hunting gear in there, but it's still filled out in a way that's not compressed. I don't use compression sacks. If you use compression sacks, it does save room, but it makes the bag really lumpy, and the weight distribution is awful. But if you just press stuff from the top down, it's the same as using one large compression sack. I don't even like to press it down that hard, though, because my theory is I would rather be walking with a firm pillow on my back all day than a small rock on my back all day. And I actually have used this as a fall pad. On this trip, coming down this mountain, I went off trail for 4 miles and I actually fell off of a cliff. My feet came out from under me and I hit my back and slid down a very steep incline for about 40 feet. The soft squishiness of that backpack absorbed that fall. So I like that. Also, if I'm just sitting around leaning against a tree, the squishy backpack is not going to get punctured as easily by twigs and stuff as a rock is going to. So yeah, you saw me I put in my trash bag. That's just a Mountain House bag, and right now it's full of Jolly Rancher wrappers because that's my preferred trail candy. Easy sugar that I don't have to keep chewing. Taking the tent down now. This is an Amazon special tent, but it's one that was highly reviewed in the ultralight backpacker forums. I've had this tent in pretty heavy rain and it did great. Pretty decent wind and it did great in that as well. This is not a 4-season tent though, and I wouldn't really want to have to use this in snow. But it uses a single hiking pole, and the tent by its, like with all of the 8 stakes and everything that comes with it, it's 2 pounds, maybe 1 ounce more than that. And it folds and compresses to about the size of an Nalgene bottle. Now, like I said before, I don't compress it down that small. I don't care. But the weight is nice. So the only other thing that I have going in here besides this tent is the brain of the backpack, and that's where all the goodies are. So in the brain, if you guys want, I might do a video. I can do a separate video of all the little gizmos in the brain, but it's got my satellite communicator, it's got the car keys in there, it has all of the emergency medical, so I do carry a full blowout kit into the backcountry. That's 2 sets of chest seals, a couple of those large like Israeli style bandages. I carry a tourniquet, and then I have some very large bandages, just like the hydrocolloid band-aids, but they're larger. They're about the size of the palm of my hand. Carry those in there. I carry a medical stapler. I've had to staple myself closed before, and that's just nice to be able to do instead of messing. I've had bad luck with those butterfly bandages, so yeah, you can get really small medical staplers. I put one of those in there. I also use a bag full of every pill that you could imagine. So Sudafed, anti-diarrhea, not just ibuprofen and Tylenol, but I do carry those as well. I just Pepto-Bismol, Tums. I want a few of everything that I could imagine eating at home, because an upset stomach or anything like that is enough to really ruin a trip for me. I also keep some Body Glide. I don't keep it in the deodorant stick. I actually scoop it out with a spoon and I put it in a pill jar. Don't make the mistake I did of trying to keep like a deodorant stick, anything in a pack that gets hit with intense sun rays all day. It just melts and gets all over everything. But in a pill jar, it's fine. I just stick my finger in there and scoop out some and use that. I use Body Glide on the hot spots on my feet. And I also have a similar container. It's just another pill jar that I take Mitchum antiperspirant and I squeeze that into a pill jar and close that so it's a liquid tight container. And I keep that as well. I use the antiperspirant on my feet. This one's a big hack, guys. If you find yourself you need to change socks often, just antiperspirant your feet, and your feet will stay drier through the day. You won't sweat as much in your boots. So, yeah, that's in the brain. Also, in the second pouch of the brain, I have more like utilitarian items. So I have a small silky saw. I have the dressing knife that I like. I'll post a photo up. I know you guys are gonna want to see this stuff, but small. It's a lightweight knife that is adequate for dressing out a large game animal. I have a sharpening kit in there, which is really just a 1-inch grinder belt, 2000 grit, and some other goodies. So the brain is the only part of this pack where I'm not super crazy about having all of this weight up top, but it is convenient, and I will be moving a lot of those little gizmos to the hip belt as soon as I get my hip belt pouches in. But with this being a brand new backpack, I don't have the hip pouches yet. So yeah, they're coming in. I believe these hiking poles are black diamond. They are ancient, guys. I bought these more than a decade ago. They are the carbon fiber, and they're still going strong. So yeah, there's the pack, guys, all together with 3 days of food, 2 liters of water, and everything else I've talked about. This is a 34-pound pack. Here's a rundown of what is in the brain of that Metcalf. So on top, that's the Motorola Defy. It is the cheapest satellite communicator. Got this just recently, and it is working really well. I've used it a couple times now. Kind of a pain in the ass for sending text messages for other people because they have to download an app to reply to you. But if you're just gonna one-way text people your location and that you're okay, great for check-ins, great for telling the wife that you love her when you're in the backcountry. And I think it's $60 a year, and that's some amount of texts, like 300 texts and unlimited SOS service. So yeah, I've got a carabiner on that. When I'm using it, it likes to look directly up, so it's just easy for me to carabiner it to the pack so that it lays on top of the pack while I'm hiking, and it's still getting, transmitting and receiving. Next in the bag, Salox gauze. I actually prefer the Quick Clot Z gauze, but this is what I got in this pack. Yeah, it's still far better than nothing. I've got a thin H bandage in there, and then you can see there's a tourniquet, little cat tourniquet under the to the side of that. This is my pill bag, so all the pills that you could possibly imagine, little band-aids, some antibiotic stuff. I mean, I've got Claritin, Sudafed, Tums, ibuprofen, Tylenol, anti-diarrhea stuff, yeah, Pepto-Bismol, all of it. Got some extra toilet paper in there. I also have these 2 pill bottles that don't have pills in them. What they have in them is, this one is Body Glide, and this one is antiperspirant. Both of those are for me, it's primarily foot care. So, yep, that's the bag of little stuff. Bag of wet wipes, self-explanatory. This is the emergency stapler. I've used this before. You can actually see, still scarred over right there. Dropped a knife through my foot during COVID. Didn't want to go to the hospital. I just stapled it up myself. So I know that these work. I know that I can use them on myself and remove the staples afterward. So yeah, pretty lightweight for something that is way better than those stupid butterfly bandages. And then last, I have some Tegaderm, just a hydrocolloid bandages that are really useful for a lot of stuff. They can be patches for chafing. They can work like moleskin. Yeah. And underneath that, I have one of the packs of my chest seals. The other chest seal would be in my bino bag. So that is the medical goodies. And I do layer these in here in the way that makes the most sense to me. So like I want the tourniquet and the quick clot gauze right on top. And on the other side, I want this pouch of pills and stuff that I access, you know, probably at least once a day, right? I'll pop some Tylenol for big miles. And then I keep the satellite communicator on top as well, because I'm texting updates of where I'm stopping, and yeah, it's nice to just have it up there. So zip this up. And this is like the other brain pouch has the convenience items or whatever. This is the Sawyer squeeze. I actually have that now and I'm using it. It's way better than the mini. It's way better than I like this better than what I had with that Catadine Be Free. Using the Catadine is nicer. It is. But the fact that I got a pinhole like failure in the bottle on the first trip out with it didn't inspire confidence in me. So I use the Sawyer squeeze, and then on the left and right pockets of the bag, I use 1 liter Smart Water bottles. They are indestructible. They're far more robust than any hydration pouch. Yeah. Next, I carry a pretty big saw. These Silkies, they weigh nothing and they cut way above their weight. Regular toilet paper, and then I've got just a trash bag. That is the dry bag, so I can, if it starts to rain really heavily, rather than put a pack cover over, just a very lightweight trash bag, I take all the stuff in the bag and put it in this bag and face the opening of the bag down. Easy. Got my power bank. This guy right here, this is my poop shovel. Dig a trench, or dig a little hole and poop in it. And then this is as minimalist as it gets. I think this is smaller and lighter than even the marketed trowels that they offer. And what is this? This is a shoehorn. That's it. Cords for charging all the devices. Guys, I got a regular toothbrush. Cutting down a toothbrush is silly to me. The only thing I would consider replacing this with are maybe a wisp, like the disposable single-use toothbrushes that already have the toothpaste in them. Maybe, but when I went looking for them, they didn't have them. Spare pair of underwear, and also in here that hasn't been replaced yet would be my extra socks, but they're being washed. So guys, if you don't know why you'd ever need a spare pair of underwear, good for you, but those of us who know. Little thing of toothpaste. This is just this is pretty cool. I can clamp this onto my binos and hold my cell phone and take pictures. So I'll put a picture that I took from the binos in here. But this is a cool little device, just Amazon stuff. It is totally a luxury thing that I don't need at all. Headlamp. This is a Nightcore. Man, it's old. It works fine. I wish that it wasn't an internal battery. That's my one gripe about it. It's one of the rechargeables. I wish that it was a rechargeable like battery that I could take out and have an extra battery in it. It does suck having to charge this with a power bank, especially when you learn that it's dead when you need it. So yeah, I've got the boots to my hiking poles in here. So there's one of them. I'm sure the other one will, yeah, a little notebook and a Right in the Rain pin and a mirror. You know, luxury to just jot down stuff when I don't want to use the phone. Another phone charger. I've got spare AA's in here. That's because the binos that I use are image stabilized and they require a single AA. I have yet to drain the AA that came with it. They have been lasting quite a while. So yeah, but these are backups for that. Guys, these are the toothpicks. If you've watched my videos, you know I usually have a toothpick in my mouth. This is necessary. And then I've got the knife that I am using this year. I have gone with cheap knives for dressing, but yeah, I got this one. You guys all know Benchmade makes good stuff. I got this one because of the steel. I really like S30V, but yeah, a nice lightweight. It's a minimalist kind of field knife, and I expect it to do the job. The knives that I've used in the past have all been the cheap Moras, and the carbon steel Moras, like the $8 special Moras. Ergonomically, they kind of suck, but they are really good steel. That carbon steel for the price is great. They cut through animals, they handle it well, and that carbon steel is super easy to sharpen in minimalist fashion. So like sharpening, last thing I have in here all rolled up is this guy, and you can see that is a 1000 grit silicon carbide grinding belt for a belt grinder. That's all you need to sharpen, guys. You loop this around a belt when you're dressing an animal, and then you hold the far end taut, pulling it away from yourself, and just that will fix a rounded edge on a carbon steel blade. It'll rip off the burr and the nasty on a high quality, you know, super steel knife. This will get you shave sharp on anything. Yeah, there's some other tricks to sharpening when you like really ding an edge, but as far as like field sharpening, I'll sharpen a knife 3 or 4 times while I'm dressing an animal, and this just looped around the belt to strop an edge back on it is really helpful. So weighs nothing. So there's all the stuff in the brain, guys.